Hi there. The Swedish Grandmaster Johnny Hector is known for his exhilarating and swashbuckling style of play. He has a couple of gambits named after him, perhaps even more that I'm unaware of. One of them I know is in the Caro-Kann, the other is in the Spanish exchange variation. This trap is called Hector's fastest draw, and it's in the Spanish exchange. e4 and e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5, the Spanish. Black plays a6, hitting the bishop, and here the bishop trades with the knight on c6, and black recaptures with the d-pawn. Castles threatens the pawn on e5, knight takes on e5 is the threat. So one way to defend that pawn is bishop g4, which pins the knight on f3. White immediately hits at that bishop on g4 with the move h3. Black could play the fishing pole trap here with h5, giving up the bishop, and I've done some videos on that, well worth checking out. Instead, black can also drop the bishop back to h5, but that can tempt white into winning a pawn with g4, a dangerous move which exposes the castled king. The idea being that after bishop g6, now the knight can capture the pawn on e5. And after knight takes e5, bishop d6, black develops with tempo, hitting the knight. The knight could drop back, but more logical is to capture that dangerous bishop on g6. But the downside of that is after h takes on g6, black has opened up the h-file and now hitting the pawn on h3. White can defend adequately, perhaps best with queen f3, but also logical is king g2, because that vacates the first rank for the rook to also defend with rook h1 subsequently. Queen h4 now hits the pawn on h3, that's got to be defended, so rook h1 or queen f3. After knight f6 by black, white now is tempted perhaps to play this move e5. Does it win a pawn, a piece? Well, if e5, bishop takes on d5 is a mistake because rook e1 is going to be winning for white. But after e5, black can play knight d5. And now if e takes on d6, which is probably not white's best move, white would do better to consolidate the center with d4. Because now if e takes on d6, then black can throw the knight into f4. That knight's not going to be taken by queen takes on f4, because queen takes on h3 is going to be mating for black. So after knight to f4 check, the king drops back to h1, but now queen can take on h3. And after queen takes h3, rook takes h3 check, the king has to go to g1, and black can force a repetition of moves with knight e2, and when the king back to g2, knight back to f4, with a very quick draw. So this has been a trap called Hector's fastest draw in the Spanish exchange variation in the Hector's Gambit. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.